Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Monday Morning Commute. We are really glad to be bringing this segment back. What I like to do is give an update on what's happening at Mosher Media, and right now I want to talk about something that we've been working on through the end of 2025. And frankly, I cannot believe here we are, January 5th, 2026. And again, glad to be bringing back the Monday Morning Commute as a podcast segment. And I want to share with you what we're working on with our nonprofit that we've created called Akron Community Studios. And of course, in the first line of the comments in this post, there is a link to akroncommunitystudios.org where you can see what we've put up as the first website. We're just getting this off the ground, so don't judge because it is the first iteration of what the website will hopefully be as we build this. But our heart is in this for the long haul. We want to create an organization that serves those students who want to explore careers in media. And specifically, we would like to serve those who might come from a disadvantaged background in terms of maybe a school district that they grew up in didn't have a media program. Not every school district has photography and journalism and media production or television production classes. Certainly, maybe in a wealthier suburban district, you have schools that have incredible media programs that rival what the colleges have. And these students are coming out of these programs almost ready for the media industry at a level that competes with, at times, college graduates. It's absolutely incredible what's happening. And then, of course, on the other end of the spectrum, there are school districts that don't have media programs at all. Some of them don't have photography or journalism. The resources just aren't there, perhaps. And what we want to do is build a creative space for those who would like to explore the media industry. And you don't have to be a student, it is going to be open to all. And what we want to do is have photography and media workshops as the core of this program. And I'm, of course, going to go through my Rolodex and rope everyone I know that I look up to and admire as professionals in this business and ask them, beg them to come in and mentor and teach and run through a workshop, maybe even just a speaking engagement. So when we have students, we can have a meaningful internship experience. And again, with this program, you do not have to be in college. You don't have to be a student. You don't even have to be a young person. You could be a citizen journalist. You could be a retired individual who wants to learn more about advanced photography skills. Any one of us could brush up on our grammar, on writing, on communication, on speaking. All of these things can happen in this learning environment that we would like to create and frankly already have in place. And what we're doing is trying to raise the money to make sure that this could continue. One of the things about the educational experiences is to make sure that when we have college students that are coming out, that they're not being exposed to a professional creative media environment for the first time in their senior year internship. This is a huge problem, and I could go on about this. We've had an intern program for 20 years, and I've seen this where there are students that picked up a camera as a kid in grade school and did the high school media program. And then there are students who chose media as a major in college and have never seen a radio station or a television station or a professional studio or even an ad agency or a video production center. And so this is a huge problem. So what we want to do is provide a creative space for interns and students, and on the other end of that, provide a space where those who are considering media as their major to explore what the field is all about before they make a decision to spend $40, $60, $80,000 or more on a college degree in this field. It is very possible that someone could come in and learn from us, and they could embrace what we're doing. They could love photography, the video editing. They could love all of it, and maybe they decide to become a marketing major. We want to give everyone an experience that helps them decide if this is the right fit for them. I also want to talk about the idea that not every student had a camera or a computer or access to technology in the household that they grew up in. And this picture sums it up pretty good. Here I am at age 14, so this is, let's say, 1988, and I had commandeered the family camcorder, and I was always shooting video. And I loved this camera. I still have it somewhere in storage. As you can see, I've got video gear everywhere. We just did a whole podcast on Sony Betacam and all the old cameras. And of course, you better believe, as part of our internship program, students will get to learn how the true ENG cameras worked. I will do back in my day, the cameras were 35 pounds, and they will learn traditional news and television production. But I'm very passionate about this, and it started at age 13 or 14 when I'm shooting all the home movies. And this particular VHS camera had an incredible editing feature. It was a really nice camera for 1988, where you could audio dub from a CD player. And I had a CD player. And I had a computer that could make graphics, and I could edit with this camera. You take another VCR and take your source tape, and this camera could actually make edits, and you could put a series of scenes together, and then you could add in at the end of it your computer graphics, which I just shot right off the screen because I didn't have the technology to export a graphic to a tape. There was no such thing, probably. But what I was able to do is use the audio dub feature and lay down a soundtrack. And that, to me, was the coolest thing. And this is where I fell in love with shooting video and editing video and telling a story and capturing the moment. This is not something that every young person has access to. We know this. It isn't fair in a way, and I don't think we can solve the entire problem, but it is possible for us to build a creative space where those in the Akron area who want to explore our field, this field that we love, that we could provide a space where they could come in, take on a project, do a photography workshop, learn how to record a podcast. We have a podcast studio. They could learn how to edit. They could take our cameras out into the field and do videos for nonprofits. A huge part of this program is our association with all of the Akron area nonprofits. We are going to provide a structured program so that students who are ready to go out into the field and do meaningful work that impacts our community could elevate Akron. We can inspire these students by giving them cameras and sending them out to a nonprofit when they're doing an event and take pictures and shoot video and tell these stories and provide that to those organizations to help them raise money, raise awareness, to make an impact. And these students, anyone involved in this program, any volunteers, anyone who's learning, any one of us that would want to mentor or teach, we will be able to see the results of this program through the impact that we could make by creating content for Akron area organizations that we believe in, and those that come to us and ask for assistance. They'll be able to come to us and say, hey, we want Akron Community Studios to help us. And also as part of this, those who are working in content creation or marketing or fundraising at a nonprofit would be welcome to come to these workshops. This program is open to all. And as you can tell, I'm very excited about what we're doing. We have created the nonprofit. The IRS has approved the 501c3 status. We have registered with the state of Ohio. I set up a GoFundMe. It's already going right now. It's raised some money. When I went to set up the GoFundMe, it said, here's a drop down of, I just typed in Akron Community, and Akron Community Studios came up with our tax ID number already approved somehow in the GoFundMe system. It was amazing to me that it's established. So we have a bank account. Any one of our donors could actually write a check to Akron Community Studios. We have everything in place. And shout out to my friend Aaron Yeager, who is an expert at guiding and advising and consulting for nonprofits. And he came to me about WAOH television. He has a journalism background, and he loves Akron, grew up here, and he said, I love what you're doing with WAOH. You should look at creating a nonprofit. And he gets a lot of credit, and I've taken it and run, and couldn't have done it without his good advice and his assistance. Let me continue telling the story, which I love to do, of course, and if anyone who's involved in this nonprofit will have to hear my story, because that's the idea, is we bring in those who have been in this field and love it as much as I do, who have been in the field for decades as I have, and the idea is we're going to pay it forward. Those of us that had a great career, and I'm not retired yet, shouldn't say had, I have a great career, we're having a lot of fun in this business, and we want to pay it forward. We want to encourage those who would look at our field and say, I want to do that. And of course, we all know in photography, journalism, media, this is not a way to get rich. Obviously, if you really want a BMW, you're going to need to maybe look at, the medical field perhaps, or becoming an attorney, and all of those wonderful, wonderful vocations and fields to be working in. But most people in media that are doing the work, the creative field, they will tell you it's a passion. You do it because you love it. Of course, we all got to eat. A wise person told me just recently, I would just do this for free if it weren't for the fact that food costs money, right? That person might be in the room now, so there you go. Thanks for giving me a line I can use. I've talked about Stowe High School, and what a great time. And there were 2,000 kids in the building when I went there. And we produced a media program, and we had the resources. The money was there for camcorders or for editing VCRs. And really, in 1991, that's all you needed is a camcorder and a VHS machine. And we did actually have a computer in high school where we could make some graphics. And we had all the journalism students involved, and they were teaching photography. And it's unfortunate that those resources aren't available to every student, but hopefully this program can make a difference. I want to talk about my work after high school and how the passion I developed for media and video production led me to an internship at WNIR Radio right here in Akron, Ohio. And they were starting a TV station. At the time, TV 29, the CAT, was WAI television. They later became WAOH, and they're off the air now. But I digress. When I was 18, I was interning at WNIR Radio. The TV station was just starting, and I ran camera for all of these live shows that they did. And one of them was a Sunday morning program, the Reverend Elvin H. Brown. And he was a great guy, did a great job, and he had a Sunday morning call-in show. And he would let me come on, and I volunteered. I was supposed to be running camera, but I would, on my own time, go out in the community and do features on nonprofits. And in this one I'm about to show you, I did an interview with a fellow that was at the St. Sebastian Food Kitchen, somebody that was running the Haven of Rest, and another, maybe the Salvation Army was in this too. I'm only going to play a quick clip of it, but take a look. It's cringeworthy because this is me at age 18 in 1992 trying to be a professional broadcaster. Here it is.
Okay, Dan. Dan Mosher.
Yeah.
And we're happy to have you with us. And you have some things that you want to talk about, and I want you to feel free to talk. Go right ahead.
Well, I put together this report for your show.
Okay.
Basically, it deals with the organizations in Akron that help the homeless out. Most of them don't only help out during the holiday season, but these are groups that have been working all year round. We're going to start the segment with the largest help group in Akron. That would be the Good Samaritan Hunger Center.
All right.
They feed 185 meals per day on average, and they really do a lot to help out the homeless in the Akron area.
It is cringeworthy, and that clip goes on for quite a while. I didn't want to play the entire thing because it's lengthy, but it shows that from the very beginning of my career, I have been interested in the idea that media, the field that we love, and all of this creative camera work and writing and storytelling can be used to advance nonprofits, to make a difference in the community, do something meaningful. And that truly is the foundation of what we're building with Akron Community Studios. I would like to do something meaningful for Akron, for the students that we serve, for the nonprofits that we're involved in, and of course, our local TV station, Project WAOH Television, will be donating airtime so that the best of the content created by the volunteers and community activists and citizen journalists and students that come into Akron Community Studios, the best of their content can be aired on WAOH television, because that television station, of course, is a for-profit entity, but can donate airtime to provide additional exposure for the nonprofit organizations or other community organizations that the students and all of the stakeholders and volunteers want to spotlight. Not everyone gets the opportunity to have access to professional creative workspaces, to the professional equipment, and the training and mentoring. And I was very fortunate that after my work at WAOH, WAI, TV 29 back in the day, in about the same era of my life, about age 18, I landed a contract camera assistant gig at the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company. And they called me the kid, and I was willing to do anything and everything in that department, and I had a blast. Goodyear, certainly a great company. Akron is very fortunate to have Goodyear. I was very fortunate to get in, and not just to get into Goodyear, but the people that ran the media department in that era, all of them became my mentors. I learned so much from them. And you really, as anybody in the professional world knows, you can learn just as much from mentors in a professional work environment as you can in college, maybe even a better situation, because it's the one-on-one learning and real world circumstances that really educate. This is where we learn, is when we're given a project, when we're in a circumstance where the outcome is completely dependent on our efforts. This is where we learn. And to be fair, you got to make mistakes. And the internship and volunteer video and doing things where your heart's in the right place, you're moving with purpose, but maybe you screw something up. This is the place to screw up. And by screwing up and making mistakes, this is where you learn. And so I want to put this all together, and I want to ask everyone watching, and if you've watched this far into this video, thank you. I want to ask you to take a look at our GoFundMe. And again, the link to all of it is in the comments below this post. But to review, Akron Community Studios will provide the equipment, the training, and the connections with Akron area nonprofits so that students create content that elevates Akron. This is all very important to our mission. What we want to do with the money, this is very important, is where does your donation go? If you make a contribution to this, this is what we want to do with the money. We want to secure a space in one of our buildings that we have here in downtown Akron, completely dedicated to this program so that students can have open access to editing at all hours. And when you're working on an editing project, you need to come in and edit after hours. And this is the hardest thing about a school or a learning program somewhere else, is that access to the equipment at all hours is a difficult thing, or access to equipment after you've graduated school is not possible. Money goes to equipment maintenance, software subscriptions. We are all Adobe. So we will be teaching the professional gear, Premiere, Photoshop, After Effects. After Effects might be a lot, but we want to get into some 3D animation. Why not have a workshop on Blender? Why not? If the students want to do it, and there's enough of them, we have enough professionals that could teach 3D animation. We would love to be doing that. We would also love to pay professionals to come in to have workshops. I can rope people into things, beg people to come in as a favor for me. Would you speak in my class or speak in a workshop? That's one thing. But if you ask somebody to do a 6-part course, we need to be able to pay them. And that's what the donations would go to. Maintaining the space, maintaining software, licenses, subscriptions, all of that. We're launching this. It's already off the ground. It's already happening. We've had an internship program for 25 years. We know what the challenges are. And again, one of the biggest challenges is students from financially disadvantaged backgrounds don't have access the way that some of us did. And we want to level the playing field. We want to give everyone an opportunity. This is open to all. Thank you for listening. I hope I'm on time. And we're doing all right. Good. We like to keep these under 15 minutes. That's why we call it the Monday morning commute. Hopefully your commute is going well. Hopefully you're going to kick off the first work week of the new year by making a donation to Akron Community Studios, or just look us up and send us a note, volunteer, and we'd even take an old camera, even if it's broken. We're going to get into that too. We're going to take donations of old gear. Obviously, we have room for old gear. So thank you for listening. This has been the Monday Morning Commute. It's great to bring this podcast segment back. There's a lot more on the Mosher Media podcast channel and, of course, on YouTube and Facebook. Find us everywhere. Again, we want to make a difference. We want to do something great, and we invite you to be a part of it. Thanks for listening.